Welcome, everybody, to another women's rights interview. This time we are featuring a British author, Anita Kirk. Anita Kirk hails from Wakefield, England. Her book, In a Quarter of a Second and the Glowing Rings, is a totally unique adventure where a young group of space bowlers, they get transported 30 years into the future, going on strange adventures to recover items for the city people, taking their lives into their own hands and experiencing strange challenges on their journey. In the first adventure, Jake Train has invented the eye finger of all things. So just imagine the types of interesting situations the eye finger will create for the time traveling bowlers. Anita's other titles include Shenanigans, Sexy Shenanigans, and Christmas Sparkles. I'm going to add links to Anita's books underneath this video, a link to Women's Rights Publishing and Author Services, which is sponsoring these interviews. And please subscribe to our Patreon page, which helps to support these videos and helps to support Women's Rights Publishing and Author Services. Welcome, Anita Kirk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. First off, I have to ask, what kind of amazing imagination does one need to invent time traveling bowlers and eye fingers?
Right. I started my journey quite a long time ago because my mum has wrote 2 children's books already, and I got my inspiration from my mother really, because she'd done it. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have a go myself. And I'm really good at ideas. I used to write little things down myself when I was a kid, but I never kept them. I used to throw them away, and it were a bit silly of me really. So and then I used to be really good at English at school, so it was my best subject. And then so I loved it. And then basically I just sort of, I've got so many ideas in my head, and I started putting them together to make sense. And then basically they turned into like a book, and then which I wanted into. And then because I did in a quarter of a second at start, and then I did in a quarter of a second learning, because I added the second story to the same book. And then so that in a quarter of a second, that's no good anymore because it's got the second story in that book, and it's got like action packed in it, and all sorts of things happen. They go basically in this space bowling centre, and then they go on this journey, and then you know, down to the space bowling centre, and they get these whistles off Charlie's parents, off his mother basically, and then they all put them around the necks, these whistles, and then they don't realise that they're going to take these, you know, these whistles are going to take them on an adventure. So they've got them on, and they're thinking, oh, they're just for kids, these, I'll just take them off and throw them away. But they can't remove them from the neck, so they're stuck to them. But one of them knocks the whistle, so it takes them like 25 years into the future, and they can't understand where, you know, because it looks totally different. They're in the same room, but it's 25 years into the future, so it's like everything's different. There's like 3D newspapers, there's all sorts of different stuff, and they just can't understand why. And then he knocks it again, and he goes back to his friends, and he says, oh, you know what, it was really good that I've just time traveled, do you want to come with me, you know, just for a laugh? Anyway, so they all go time traveling again, you know, together to 25 years ahead, and then they think, oh, I wonder what's going on outside, let's go and have a nosy. Anyway, so they can't get outside, so they're trying to find this key because they're in like the space bowling centre, but it's shut for the day because it's a special day, like a bank holiday. So, and basically they can't get outside, so they've got to find the key. Anyway, they find the key, they get outside, and they're looking outside and thinking, why are all them people stood there, and why are they all floating into air? Anyway, so they walk over, and they join the queue, and then they start floating up in the air themselves with the whistles, and they're like thinking, this is really strange, this is. Anyway, so they get onto this platform, and it's a sky rail they get onto, and it takes them to different places. And this girl says, "Where do you want to go?" Anyway, and she says, "Oh, I'm sure I recognise you, but you look a lot older. Last time I saw you." Anyway, so they think, "Oh, let's go and see our older selves." So they go to their older selves' house, and they're like, "Get out! You don't belong. What are you doing?" So anyway, so they go inside the house, and he phones the police nearly because he just can't believe that they stood in front of him. Anyway, so he thinks, "Oh my God, we're going to get police called on us here." So anyway, so they go in anyway, and then they start looking at these photos and thinking, "Oh, it is going, look," the younger cells are going, "Look, we're here. Look at me and look at that photo. That is 25 years ago, and this is me now. Do you believe us now?" Anyway, so they go, "Oh yeah, we do." So anyway, so they start joining the team together eventually, because he only meets one of them, but then they all come and they're all going, "Oh my God, this is so real." Anyway, so they all go on this journey, and then they realise this city's in trouble. So the older team have got like special extras on the whistles because it's 25 years ahead, and so they can do more things, but they've got to go and get these things back, these items out of this city, but they get killed on the way nearly, and all sorts happens to them, and they get turned into zombies because you touch them on the shoulder, and then basically they get turned into zombies. So it's a bit scary at times, but it's not that scary. It's just like, there's no blood or anything like that. It's just like they walk like zombies. And then there's like I can't really say the ending, but that'll spoil it. But it's a really unique ending, I'll just say that. And a lot of things happen.
Well, I love the creativity. You have to invent, because they're going back and forth in time. You have to invent all these different worlds. It's amazing. And I want to ask you, you're a relatively newly published author, and yet you had 4 books published in 1 year. How did you accomplish that?
Well, basically, in a quarter of a second, as I said, I'd done that before, but then, so that was more or less wrote the first bits of the story. Then the second bits of the story, I did that. I've been doing it a while. And then I just did it all last year because I've been writing so many at a time. I start so many books and I don't finish them because I don't get enough time to finish them. So I'm writing probably like 6, 7 books at a time. So I'll go back to that one, then I go back to that one, then I go back to that one. And then I think, well, I'll have to concentrate on that one so I can get that one out. And then they've all just come at once, sort of thing, So and then I've got some more coming. I've got loads coming. So I'm just, I love doing it. I just get into my own world, and I just absolutely love it doing it.
What's coming up next? Do you have do you have 4 more books that you're going to publish this year?
I don't know yet. Maybe. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But at the minute, I'm concentrating on this one. I'm trying to concentrate on one at the minute because I keep swapping between them again. So, but this one that I'm writing at the moment, it's about a girl, and she's got these glasses, and basically she doesn't realise because they've got buttons on them, and she can't understand what the buttons are for. Anyway, she goes into like this shop where she got the glasses from, and she says, but her daughter says, "Don't say anything about the buttons because she might have the wrong glasses." Anyway, so she goes and she thinks, "Oh, better not say anything." Anyway, so she says, "Oh," so she thanks them for the glasses, and then she realised that the shop's shut. It's called the Dream Changer shop. Anyway, basically, she takes these glasses away, but the packaging disappears in her hand, and she can't understand why. It's just vanished in her hands. But there is a reason for that, because and then she ends up seeing people's dreams, because the dreams that she watches them in people's eyes as she's like sat down, and the glasses connect to like other people's glasses, so she can watch their dreams, and she can change their dreams for the better or the worse. So there can be some quite funny things that she does to change the dreams, and all sorts of things that she does. And then she realizes it's more serious, and she thinks, you know, like the glasses do like more serious things, you know, because they belong to somebody that's evil. So she's got to go and basically save the world with like a daughter and a friend to save the world. And the person that she thinks is evil all along may not be.
But you
You'd
know,
have to read it.
I've noticed not all your books are fantasy. You have shenanigans and sexy shenanigans. What inspires you to delve into these different types of genres?
I just fancy a change sometimes, and I'm writing so many different ones at the moment. I just change all the time and write different things. I just have so many ideas, and I just want to write them ideas down. Some of them are dreams, actually, believe it or not. And I wake up and I think, do you know what? That'd make a really good story. And then I start writing it down, and then I think, right, they can do this, and then they can do this, and then they can do this. And then I think of my other book, and I go back to that other book, and I think, right, they can do that, and they can do that, and they can do that. And I've just got a really good imagination. I just think all the time, constantly. I'd be talking to somebody, and I'd be like thinking of my own things, you know what I mean? Instead of my husband would be talking to me, and I'd be like in my own will instead of like listening to what he said.
So
Because
do you have a journal next to your bed when you wake up? You're like, oh, that was a great dream. I need to write about that.
well, believe it or not, I write it in my phone because I've got Word on my phone. So I pick my phone up in the middle of the night and I just write everything down, because if I don't write it down, I won't be able to sleep because I don't want to forget it. So my husband will just look at me and think, oh, she's doing it again. She's writing it down again. He must think I'm absolutely loopy.
Is
I was writing something down.
is he afraid he's going to end up in one of your books?
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I wanted to explore, obviously you're British. I wanted to explore the world of a British author. When you write, are you trying to appeal to a worldwide audience? Do you just focus on communicating to the UK world? Or what's your mindset? Or you're just writing what you think is going to be a good story? You're not thinking about being a British author. You're just thinking about writing.
I just want to really get out to as many people as I can, and I just enjoy doing it. And I just think, well, I've written it and I've really enjoyed writing it, so I want other people to enjoy reading them, you know. And I just think that way, and I'm not bothered who reads them. Obviously not such shenanigans for like older people, like, but
Adult.
but yeah, because it's got like rude stuff in it. But the sexual shenanigans, that's very, very rude. That's the book, Sexual Shenanigans, that one.
Oh.
And I've got my fingers over it. Yeah, and that's very, very rude. But it's actually the same book. It's called Shenanigans and Sexual Shenanigans. So I'm going to delete the Shenanigans book on the Ingram Spark, and I'm just going to keep the Sexual Shenanigans because I decided to change it. I just not been able to get all the Ingram Spark yet to sort it out. And then my Christmas Sparkles as well. That's that one. And I love writing that one. And this one, the Sexual Shenanigans, that's got 4 stories in it. And basically, they're very, very rude. The first story, they meet this couple at school, and basically they go, they've got some friends, and they look round the corner for each other to see if anybody come in, any teachers come in, and they say, teachers are coming, you know, then quickly, you know, get yourself sorted out. And then there's a lot more than that. And then they like meet up eventually because they lose touch, and then they meet back up again because she moves to Australia and he stays where he is. But she's in a house and she's looking out and she thinks, oh, I'm sure that's Vinny. And then It is. So he goes inside, and then everything starts, and then basically, the neighbours, they're, part of it as well. That book, and then there's another two stories that are similar. I can't really say too much about that one. And then my last one, it's got like horror in it as well. It's got like it's like people get killed in it. So it's got a little bit of horror as well as sexy stuff. So it's a bit different, the last one in that book, and sex shenanigans. And then in my Christmas Sparkles, that's that one. It's basically, it's got like they've got to get coins, all these coins to save the world, because Santa's sleigh will not fly unless they get so many rainbow coins. And then they've got to get like so many people off a naughty list. And then well, like two kids' parents, basically they're working all Christmas. So these two kids have got to go on this like challenge to try, and these fairies have come down to try and help them to not work, and they get some clones to do the work for them. And then basically there's a lot more than that, but there's all sorts that happens in it.
You've got fairy world and clones and eye fingers, and your mind is quite the thunderstorm of creativity. I love it. It's great. So I really appreciate your time. And Anita Kirk, as I said, we're going to put links to your books underneath this video. We're going to put a link to women's rights, publishing, and author services. And please, everybody that watches this, please subscribe to our Patreon page, because that will help to support these interviews. Thank you, Anita. It's been a pleasure.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.